Hi everyone. It's Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are going to get live again. We are. I'm just waiting for Gage to join in, and so today is going to be part two of continuation of understanding what is abundance mindset, and it's going to be a very interesting one. So last time I think, hi Gage.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, doing well, doing well. Beautiful day here in
Glad
Austin,
to.
Texas.
Oh, nice, nice. It's been raining here in
Oh,
Florida, which is good, actually.
good, good.
Yeah.
Well, we've
We
switched
wanted
then.
that.
Good, fantastic.
Right. Like I was telling everybody, I was waiting for you while you were joining in. So
Hmm.
it's in continuation of abundance mindset.
Correct.
And the part one was all about the physical understanding of
Hmm.
what is abundant mindset. And today
Hmm.
we'll be doing emotional. So how
Fantastic.
people get connected to emotional mindset and what it is actually. So so on and so
Wonderful.
forth. We'll
Fantastic.
dive deep into it.
Good.
And
Well,
then in the end of the session, we'll be doing
let
some tips. Yeah.
great. Let's start with kind of a refresher of what abundance mindset is for those who might
Hmm.
be joining in part two that
Hmm.
didn't get the chance to see part one. So and maybe for those who have seen part one and want a little
Hmm.
bit more, maybe we can go a little deeper into what a mind is.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about again and just refresh, like you said,
Hmm.
what is abundance mindset? So abundance itself, it means that there is plenty, there's surplus, there
Hmm.
is, it's for everybody, by the universe or by whatever you want to call it. Everybody has sufficient and surplus amount of goods or whatever they need in their lives, right?
Hmm.
So it's a kind of a paradigm where plenty is out there for everyone, and everybody can be happy, and then they can use those whatever the goods are given to them, right? So that's what
Fantastic.
abundance means. So, and
Hmm.
mindset is where you make a conscious choice of
Right.
understanding of it, that is that there is plenty and there is surplus for everybody. So you have to
Hmm.
make a conscious choice, like it's like whatever you get in your life is not only for yours, it's for everybody to share with and
Hmm.
everybody to enjoy with, something like that. um, like for instance, you have a good knowledge or anything, like your services you provide to your company
Hmm.
or to corporate world or anything you do. So basically you're sharing your values or your gifts or your talents with everybody,
Hmm.
and also the acceptance of that there is so much more for everyone. Everybody can get that kind of a satisfaction that there's no lack thinking or there's no scarcity thinking of it.
Right.
Like you
Hmm.
have more, I can have more, or somebody has a different talent, they can have more. So it's a very expansion feeling. It's not like you're not feeling constricted, like we talked about last week. The people who
Right.
feel
Moving.
it's only for me, they're
Hmm.
clingy. So
Hmm.
they have that kind of body, posture also. So that is
Right.
about the mindset, the abundance mindset. So we're just, yeah, we'll go from there.
Excellent. So we talked about the physical, right? The opening of the body and how, there could be those symptoms of shoulders kind of crunched in and chin down and really opening up that heart center, that heart chakra. So that was the physical part of it. So what is the emotional mindset
Hmm.
that has to do with abundance and where does that all tie in?
Okay. All right. So emotional, as we all can understand in the simplistic way, is feelings, our feelings,
Hmm.
how we feel about a situation, how we, though if that situation is good or bad, it's our perception or our feelings, which comes from inside about it. So that is very
Hmm.
interesting, and that's very powerful also. Like you might have seen it. There might be at times in your life when you're feeling something which is not in conducive to the environment around you.
Hmm.
So what you
Absolutely.
feel, yeah, so you might have had those experiences. So that is what I'm talking about, the emotional. So
Okay.
are you in control of your emotional and intrinsic feelings, or understanding of where those emotions are coming from, right?
Hmm.
And the behaving out is a separate part. When you behave out those feelings, how people will perceive you when you
Hmm.
behave out in certain way. So emotional abundance is when, imagine yourself being always abundant inside emotionally.
Mm. Feels
you know
nice. Yeah.
yeah, and the glass always not half full, it's always full and ready to
Right.
overflow. with emotions, and that to be the positive ones. But now we are talking about emotional abundance, so it has to be a positive, right? Because you feel so content about you, and you feel so confident about what you're doing. So you have so much to share now. So your glass is overflowing with what you have to share to the world. Does that make sense? So it's your feelings we are talking about. So basically emotions are nothing. It's a part of the feelings, what you feel about a situation, what you feel about doing something. So that is an emotional abundance. Or a person who are emotionally abundant, you'll find them to be really great leaders, actually. They are the people who like to, rather, they like to get the group together and go in certain direction. They are the leaders most likely, because they know that they don't lack anything, and they will make sure that if you are with their company or you're in their company, you would also get uplifted with them, you know. So that's what, so you might have seen the great leaders, and they are like that. If you get to even in the close vicinity of them, when they're talking or doing something, you'll find that, wow, you know, you learned something. You always come back learning or getting something, or some kind of aha moments or anything of those, right? So this is what I'm talking about, emotionally abundance, you know, when person is emotionally balanced and abundant as well.
Fantastic. So I know that, you know, we're talking about the positive side of it, right? Which is very easy to talk about and speculate about, and it sounds great. But we don't always live in that, or maybe we want to, and we're not quite there yet. So I feel like we should talk about the negative side of it too, just to understand what those symptoms might look like, and what life with an emotionally negative mindset might look like, in order to know at least what can we do to fix it, to try to get back to that positive mindset. So what are some of the negative emotions in the I guess it wouldn't be the abundance mindset, it would be more the scarcity mindset, right? So, so Geeta, talk a little bit about the negative emotional mindset.
Right. So one of the, I'll talk about a few points, like 6 or 7, but one of the major ones which I've seen when a person is not emotionally abundant, they find everything very draining, you know. You find your energy is always getting drained for no reason.
Right.
And even if you come in contact with those people, you'll find your energy getting drained as well. If you're in the high level of, probably you're more into the joyful or something more high vibration emotion, but you will find these people have always make out something when they say, oh, my energy is draining, or I'm not liking. They're always on the pessimistic side of views. Does that make sense? They like to talk about, even something is going right with them, they would have a great chance of pointing it out the negative way. So they're kind of pessimistic, and the energy is always draining, you know. It's very difficult for them to get out of that mindset and automatically become abundant mindset, right? So one of the main things which I have noticed, and these people will always be very anxious. You know, you've seen those people, like even you're talking to them, you feel, oh my God, okay, they're very anxious to talk about something, but then they forget, then they're anxious again, and then they forget, you know. So these are the people, they show that kind of symptoms. They are very anxious. They're emotionally is not stable. That's why it's acting it out. It's simple. Right? So these are the people, they show those kind of like symptoms, like they're super anxious, you know, like not normally, but they're kind of very highly anxious people. And also they're afraid of things, you know. That is something very, I would say very interesting also, because they tend to get afraid of things, you know. In a sense, if a new project comes in, they would get afraid. If a new person comes into their life, they would get afraid. If anything new, so much so, if change is a huge on their mind always. So they're emotionally not stable. They would not see it as an opportunity, anything. Rather, they would see as a challenge, and that to be a negative one. Absolutely, they would not be able to find any positive points out of it, you know. So that's why they would always be complaining about, you know, I cannot change. And have you heard anybody saying, oh, I'm not good with changes? Have you ever encountered someone?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So those are the people. They're always so afraid to try something new in their lives, right? And the other one is they feel powerless.
Right.
I mean, the emotions I'm talking about, huge, because we're talking about emotional abundance today. So these are the people who feel absolute powerless. So even if they have to, let's say, grab a glass of water, and if they cannot, they will feel, oh my God, the whole world is against me and I'm powerless.
Right.
You know, that kind of emotion. Have you, like, you know, like as a coach,
Of
when I do
course.
some of the sessions,
Yeah.
I come across people say, my gosh, I cannot do anything. I'm completely powerless. It's just as simple as
Mm-hmm.
picking up a glass of water for them.
Right.
So these
So
are the people, it's intense emotion. Yes.
so with that, because you know, I'm sure we've all been there, right? We've all had those days where, or weeks, months, years, even, where we've had those kind of negative emotional mindsets. And perhaps we're one step ahead of it, right? And we know we want change, and we know that change is needed to bring back, you know, that positivity into our life. But it's almost a vicious circle, right? Because we're scared of the change, we want the change, but we can't make it happen. So Geeta, are there any tips or anything that you know, you've seen in your coaching that might help some of the people watching this take that extra step and maybe take, you know, that quote unquote leap of faith into that positive mindset? Because there is that challenge of being scared of change, which is what we need in order to you know, make that inertia finally move forward and kind of roll with all the positivity. So some tips for those who are maybe struggling with that negative emotional mindset.
Right. So first of all, I like the word you used, acceptance,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
so that
Accepting it.
that's a huge
Ownership.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the ownership, the authorship
Mm-hmm.
of what you're doing and why you're doing. So if you're clear about your whys, it'll be easier to do your hows.
I'm gonna write that down. Clear
Yeah.
about the why, easier on the how.
If you know your whys well, you'll be able to do your hows well, right?
Right.
Simple. So acceptance of the situation, person, people, event, place, anything is huge. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you say that those people who are looking to get instant, a kind of a instant acceptance of, probably I
Mm-hmm.
would put it, of the change. Because let's say, for instance, you know, like they have a change of a job
Right.
and
Huge
they
right
just did
now.
it for whatever reasons, like A, B, C, whatever the reasons were.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're not happy about it. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
find out. So the first word which comes to me while I'm coaching with people, were they able to accept it completely, or
Mm.
was there something point lagging behind, that even if they've done it, if they've performed it, they've moved because of the job, or they've taken the new role, but was it something else going on?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so when you said acceptance is very big on these people, because they're very anxious people, so they don't like any kind of, you know, I would say, any kind of change or any kind of surprises, even with
Right.
the friend circle as well. With
Mm-hmm.
family or friends, you would find these people, they would like to follow a kind of a monotonous kind of anything, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's a gathering or talking or going to a place or anything. So for them, change is huge, even
Mm-hmm.
even with their own family members, even with somebody who's close to them.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
correct. Sorry, yeah,
Oh, go on. Go on. Yeah.
yeah.
I was agreeing. Yeah.
So acceptance is understanding of where they're coming from, exactly about the change.
Okay.
And have they realized it, what is the potential of the change could bring in their life,
Mm. So
right?
potentially bringing in some positive factors
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
focusing more on the positive rather than seeing it through the scope of the negative, right?
correct.
There's that metaphor that I love, which is having a blank white plate,
Mm-hmm.
and then taking and cracking pepper onto that
Right.
plate.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot of peppercorns on the plate,
Mm-hmm.
but all your eye draws to are those peppercorns,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of people see as those negative things in life. When all we have to
Absolutely.
do is, if we just brush it to the one side and we just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like we said, accept what the peppercorns are,
Mm-hmm.
put it into one area, there's still
Mm-hmm.
plenty of that positivity. So I
Right.
love that there's that, not only the acceptance, but also the changing
Yeah.
the scope of our perspective into that positivity so that we can see what's actually on the other
Correct.
side rather than living in the change. We can try to live through the change.
Right.
That's excellent.
Absolutely. Right. So I think that's where you would always like to begin with, you know, with these people, because they have probably left out some minutest of detail in their
Mm-hmm.
mind or their emotions. Like today, we are talking about emotions more. So they're very good in, technically, I would say they're very good in deleting their good stuff. So these
Right.
are known as deletions. They're very good in deleting about what is good in their life happening, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then acceptance of it. first recognizing it and then acceptance. So we have to go step by step when you work with these kind of people who are looking forward to probably make some changes, but with a half-heartedly, I would say, because they have not accepted anything. So much like even some of the clients, they've already paid and they come to the session, their acceptance level of going through coaching is also low at times. Then I bring it up. Yeah, just explaining them why they're here, this is what they could do. And once they start getting results, then it becomes an easy way, in the forward momentum of going through that goals.
You make it sound so easy, Geeta. That's fantastic. And it should be, right? I mean, that's the whole idea, is what we're striving towards is something that we can kind of take it as bite-sized chunks, especially coming out of this pandemic, where some of us are in the middle of the pandemic. These changes are massively drastic, affecting everybody around you. And so just taking it little bit by little bit and giving yourself that acceptance, that permission to kind of move on through it, I think that is massive. And so to those watching or anyone that needs help, just let them know that it's okay. Just accept what's going on and work from that.
These are all emotions we are talking about. So it's all okay. We just need somebody or coach or probably to work it out through the different stages, and these emotions we are talking about, acceptance, and then moving forward, change. So, all these are like, but they sound easy. To be honest with you, Gage, they sound, oh, wow, it's just change, right? But once you get into detail of it, then you realize, wow, there were so many other things layerings were there, which need to be, actually addressed, the right way.
And I want to talk about kind of a tip that I have gained from working with you, Geeta, which is kind of a gratitude journal. And this goes back to just that acceptance. She challenged me with writing down 11 things I'm grateful for every morning. That's the way I start my mornings. And I've done that for the last 3 days. And it sounds silly. It sounds so nominal and small, but it's made such a massive difference in my day to day, because it is accepting that, okay, I moved from Los Angeles and moved back to Austin, where the weather is vastly different. The people are different. Everything, the culture is different. And having that grounding in the morning allows me to say, okay, change has happened. We're here in this, and we're going to move through this. And there are still things to look forward to in life that are beautiful, that are well within my reach, right? And so that kind of almost meditation, it's almost meditative to write these down all at once, one sitting, really think about each word that you're writing down. And it gives you that acceptance. It gives you that permission to kind of feel grateful and feel this positive energy just flowing through you. And so to those out there watching or sharing with this, this is something that's very easily done, and is easily repeatable, right? I think consistency is a massive word, especially in this day and age. So this is something that's super easy to stay consistent to. Just writing 11 things, you'd be surprised how quickly you can come up with 11 things. So it's not that big of a task, and again, it just starts your day from this holistic place of gratitude and positivity. So
and
I
like what you said, grounding also, it is very grounding, because now you're accepting the blessings in your life, which you always forget. I don't know why, but those are known as deletions. When you work with somebody, you find out, my gosh, they're deleting so many goodness in their life. So that's how you start to work on those. So that's so great. I mean, that was great sharing, Gage. That's what you've been doing with you. Right.
Are there any other tips or, we talked about last week, like the physical symptoms of negative physical abundance mindset. Is there anything in the emotion that we can look for, whether it is positive or negative, that we can kind of note throughout the day and say, hey, I'm feeling this way. Something needs to change. So is there a tip of knowing, what to look for in a physical symptom of emotional mindset?
All right. So I think one of the major physical symptom I can think of when you're not operating from the abundance in emotions would be they like to look down a lot.
Okay, right.
So these people here, have you seen somebody, even when you're talking to them, you're trying to make an eye contact, they have a habit of looking down. And even if they are articulating it very well, but still they have it of looking down, like anywhere. You'll find these people. So it's done very unconsciously for them because emotionally they are struggling somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, right? So
Right.
they have a habit of looking down. And also, like I was explaining to you, these people, like for instance, when they are with friends, family, or in the work, you would find them being very secluded. They
Mm-hmm.
don't like to participate
Mm-hmm.
in the conversations. So they feel very like,
Reserved.
okay, it's not important, I can take it easy. But people will encourage them to speak, but you would find them just being by themselves, and looking
Mm-hmm.
down. So
Okay.
those are some of the major symptoms which I thought which are very, very important. And one funny one, because I'll tell you this one. Have you seen somebody after eating a nice dinner at a restaurant
Mm-hmm.
and debating about the tip part?
Okay, yeah, definitely. Been there. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So today's tip was going to be that, but I'm just telling you earlier. So these people have a, even see, when I talk about somebody who's from emotional abundant mindset, I'll talk about little symptoms after this.
Great.
So they have a hesitation of giving something.
Okay, excellent.
It's
Wonderful.
as
Right.
simple as that tip in the, even just extra dollar or extra 50 cents. It's okay. I mean, you can make your decision financially. I agree with that. But
Right, right.
even, right. But if you can do that, please do so. Because that
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of, then you feel like you're coming from abundance, when you pay
Mm-hmm.
somebody. So it's like a simple thing
That
when you walk in a
contribution.
store. Absolutely. When you walk in a store and let's say if you have $1,000 in your wallet, how
Mm-hmm.
does that make you feel?
Oh, it feels great. That's awesome. Yeah, that'd
Right.
be a
So
good
it's the
day.
same thing. So you can contribute, right? You feel good about it, right?
Right.
So it's all about the feeling. It's a
Mm.
symbolic. Even if you have, let's say, even not 1,000, even if you have $50 or
Mm-hmm.
$20, whatever you are comfortable with. But
Right.
if you just keep it in your wallet and never spend it, you feel, oh wow, I do have something,
Mm-hmm.
I do have something to offer to
Right.
someone.
You have the opportunity. Right.
The opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. These people lack in this big time, because I've
Absolutely.
seen people when they go to the restaurant, they'll they would end up arguing or being
Yep.
hesitant. Is it 50 or 10 or like,
Right.
have you seen those people?
Oh,
I
yeah,
have some of my
absolutely.
friends like that.
Take out a calculator and it's like, dude, just round up.
Yeah,
Just give
the
them, just
phone
give it.
calculator would be out.
Exactly.
Should I do
Right.
20%? Should I do 15%?
Right. Right. Absolutely.
It's okay when you're going through a little bit of financial struggle that you
Mm-hmm.
can calculate it, right?
Of
But
course.
always, if you're operating for an abundance, please pay attention. If you're
Mm-hmm.
operating for abundance, if you have $20 extra, just give out $1. It's okay.
Right.
You can do
Right.
that. And
Because
that
like we
is
talked about, it
abundance
comes
mindset,
back.
because now
Yeah.
you're emotionally abundant. It's
Mm-hmm.
just symbolic, everyone. It's such a interesting phenomena to understand of how our mind works.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when you walk in the store and you're operating from abundance mindset, even if you just have $20 in your wallet, that
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot of difference
Mm-hmm.
in your mind.
Huge.
I have this money, I can do it, whatever I can buy.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, now going a step further, when you can offer this kind of thing to another person, just
Mm-hmm.
imagine the power you are in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Even it's
Yeah.
just extra dollar, couple of dollars, or leaving extra tip somewhere. Like sometimes, you see those tip boxes, like in a lot of stores or anything,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
25 cents, just 50 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, please pay attention to this one. It's symbolic, but you're
Right.
operating from abundance mindset, that you're
Mm-hmm.
contributing in other person's life. The money is just symbolic here.
Right. And I think it's important to also note that there's some power in that empowerment within your own emotional mindset.
Correct.
When sometimes often, you think, oh, financially I can't give anything, but you end up
Yes.
giving just a little bit. Even when
Exactly.
you don't have a lot, that giving makes
Exactly.
you realize, wow, I do still have something to provide. I do have
Correct.
something to give, and it changes that emotional perspective. And
Absolutely.
therefore, it could spawn an entire revolution within you, right? You can,
Yes, it
as soon
does.
as you feel that positivity, the abundance begins, and that's that
Mhm.
inertia that we're talking
Yeah,
about,
there's a
right?
shift.
It's
There's
that
a whole
first push.
paradigm shift of mind. Yes. And
Absolutely.
now let me explain you a little bit, like when you're operating for abundance mindset or emotional
Mm-hmm.
abundance mindset, what
Mm-hmm.
happens? Like you said, one of these things. So that was just a tip. Next time when you're trying to get hesitant in a restaurant, so that was just a tip, how you can work
Right.
it out. Like
Mm-hmm.
just 50 cents, 25 cents, whatever is available to you, whatever you think, but don't hesitate in doing that, please.
Right.
So try doing it number of times. You'll start to see things are rolling differently for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so these people who are emotionally abundant, you will always find them very empowered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You'll always find them, they randomly would like to help somebody, either through kindness or something, or some, with knowledge or anything you can think of. They are always looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually these people are leaders, so they know how to work on themselves and help other person out too.
Absolutely.
They like to take you along with them. They will never try to pull you down,
Mm-hmm.
because they show that potential in them, because now they're emotionally balanced. It doesn't matter to them. But if they can offer a nice compliment to you, so a nice, some kind of random kindness, they would always do that. They never try to lose these opportunities in their lives, because they exactly know, if I operate from this, the more is coming in the tenfold, and that's how I'm more emotionally abundant.
Exactly right.
It's beautiful how these people work, and they always think something bigger.
Right.
They never think about themselves, their friends, their home, their cars or something. They're always thinking, wow, this is world where I'm in. I'm contributing it in some way. I'm adding value in some way.
And it comes back to that gratitude, right? It comes back to the grounding and where it's coming from.
For instance, like we are having this session today, so we are grateful for it, that it's happening, and we're sharing our whatever little bit we know, my coaching experiences for last 10 years. I'm grateful to share it with people, like how this works, and I've seen it like with so many clients of mine, hundreds of them, I would say, how they work and how they do things, So these are just little tips. If you start making and start changing or start executing them, you would start to see how your mindset is also changing with that. So this is a very empowering kind of exercises we talk about when you're operating from emotionally, abundant mindset. And also they like to take up the challenges. They're very good in that. So they think, okay, if this is not working, I'll move on. I'll take up another challenge. They're very quick in doing that. So a person from an emotionally who's drained and who doesn't like to do anything, he would have 10 excuses not to do it. Trust me. On the other hand, these people who are very empowering, oh, okay, right, let me do it. Let me talk to you. Let me get back to you. Okay, let's work it out together. They're very big on collaborations, by the way. They know if you grow, I grow.
They know the benefit, right?
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. And we have to work as a community. So they're huge on growth factor. They like to collab. They like to talk to people. They're big on collaborations. So they know it works. It's a synergistic effect. It's not one way. So if I grow, you grow, and I grow. So big corporations, this is how they work. Most of them, So like they like to take group and people together with them. So these are leaders, basically. So this is a very big symptoms of who's very emotionally abundant and who's emotionally balanced.
Well, great. I mean, it sounds like we've got a great benchmark for what is negative emotional mindset and what is positive emotional mindset. Geeta, I think that we've gone over quite a bit today. We've left the viewers a ton to digest. Always feel free, y'all, to reach out with questions or further explanations. We're here to help. But Geeta, is there anything last little words that you want to say on this subject matter before we let them go? Or
just the one thing I would like to say, start with the small things. Like I said, tip in the restaurant is a big one.
Absolutely.
Start to understand how you want to operate and start changing little things about you. Just leave extra, whatever you are comfortable with. There is no compulsion of doing huge or big. It is for you. It is not for someone else. When you're on a journey of understanding yourself, your mindset, please work with yourself. You don't have to impress anybody. You don't have to do anything to anyone. It's about you. So
just
please
be curious about it.
I know. So just with yourself. So if you like doing that, a gratitude journal, I think the funds is asking, please do that.
That's
and
perfect.
it's only 11 times. I tell my people, Gage as well, just don't make it a huge big deal out of it. Just write 11 things every single morning and see how it starts to shift. See?
That's all it is.
Thank
you,
Gage.
Just a little notepad. Nothing big.
Right. So I think the ferns, please start writing and you'll start to see the shift happening with you, because you have to be blessed and you should be feeling gratitude for the things you have it in your life to attract the things you want in your life.
Exactly.
Unless you understand that mindset, you would not be able to attract anything in your life. So you have to feel very grateful for what you have in your life first to begin with.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Geeta, for your time. I appreciate you sharing your wealth of knowledge, and excited to continue this journey with you next week.
Thank you for asking questions. It's always great to have you there. And we'll see you all next week, same time, with part 3, and you'll be learning
Mm-hmm.
something more about mindset. So if we
Can't
have done
wait.
physical, emotional, now let's see. I would not disclose it right now. It will come in the next Monday, and see you
Fantastic.
all together. Take care.
We'll see you then,
Bye-bye.
guys. Bye, y'all. Take
Bye-bye.
care.
See everyone.